Alright, so what I've done so far is I went through and I skinned out the rest of the armor pieces in the same exact process I had been doing before. At this point now, if I'm going to rotate the joints or anything, there's no other influence being that's happening on any of the other on any of the other mesh pieces from the body. Now, I do need to still skin out the rest of the belts for this piece here, because you can see there's a little bit of strange deformation going on. But let me hide that cloth really quickly. Let me just add it to the layer real quick, because it didn't get added. Cancel. Add. Okay. So let's say you're skinning this and all of a sudden Maya crashes. Honestly, that's what happened to me a little while ago when I was trying to do another video showing me skinning the rest of this out. But and I was not able to recover my file correctly because it was just acting weird. Good thing was, because I saved out those templates before, it prevented me from having to go through and reposition everything, and I got the character back to this state in roughly, I want to say, about 15 minutes. So the important thing you want to do is say as you're skinning your character in all his pieces, it's good practice to go through, select the mesh pieces in which you're working on for the skinning information to the bones, and you're going to be making templates of those as well, just like you did with your joints and your skeleton placement. So select your pieces of the skin mesh that you're working on, go to this arrow with the coming out of the guy's head, and you export skin weights for selected mesh. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to name this Titan Armor LYR1. Or actually, let's call this main armor. It'd be better. Armor ones, but I stand corrected. I'm going to call this skin weights so I know what it is I'm looking at. In practice, like usually this is what I go by for naming conventions. I'll have uppercase, underscore, spacing, and then uppercase everywhere together for skin weights so I know what each text document is. And then just hit accept, and it'll export these skin weights out. So if this were to crash right now and you needed to get back to this point again, you could just import those weights. And if you see here, I've already got a really good sized list of different weight skins for different pieces of characters. You can make your own filing system too in here if you want to keep more organized. But oops, well, you're about to see what happens here in a second. But because I exported that out, I don't have to worry too much. I've already got all the information saved. I'm importing a body skin weight from an earlier version of this Titan. So you're going to see is the skin weights are going to be thrown off quite a bit because the geometry doesn't really match. I'm surprised it came in just fine like that. But you'll notice it's going to act pretty, oh no, it didn't act weird at all. That is different. Huh. You'll see like hitting one bone, it shifts everything around. So for instance, like, now how am I going to reskin all that again? Well, because we saved out that skin template, we just go and select our mesh. Let's do an import. And we called it Titan Armor Layer 1 Skin Weight Text. Somehow I double clicked on that. Stylus was touchy when that happened. So as this is importing, it's reapplying all that skinning information that you had done earlier to the mesh pieces itself, so you don't have to go through and manually do it all over again. And like we had what spine selected and everything was moving, so now if we go through and move again. So yeah, we're still getting a little bit of trouble there, so let's go through and let's delete that history of that piece we're working on. So now we've broken any skinning information to that skeleton. So we select our mesh that we're working on again. Let's re-import that one more time. And I paused for only a split second, but I didn't do any changes. I was just trying to think, but I'm pretty sure this should work because we have 0 information now on our mesh. So the warning it kind of gave us was some cannot be specified value if the weight exceeded 1. We shouldn't have any problems at this point. So select that spine bone, and we're back to where we were and we're back to where we were about like 5 minutes ago. We're not having to reskin anything or anything like that. I'm going to have to go through and separate those pieces back there. But nothing's being influenced. We're back to the skinning position that we were, and we just save ourselves a bunch of time. So if I have those pieces back here, I need to separate, because we saved out that template with those pieces of fur attached. I'm going to need to go in. I'm going to go ahead and select my vertex here. I have to get in real close. Vertex. Select this one. Select these edges. Or I can do it easier by going through face. Select the faces of a couple of those pieces and frame it up so I can see a little better. Okay, I think I grabbed at least one off each one. I'm going to grow my selection. And I'm going to go ahead and hold down. I'm going to go ahead and take these, and I want to go ahead and separate them out. So go ahead and separate. They should no longer be part of that object anymore that had the skinning information. It may still be, this may still hold skin data. If we look on this history, it still has that skin cluster. But we don't want any skin cluster on those pieces. Delete the history off of those. And now they should be free. But because we adjusted the, we technically adjusted the geometry of this, of the mesh, we're going to need to save out those skin clusters again. So I'm just going to re-export that again. Same name. It already detected we had that saved out the same name as before. I'm just going to overwrite that as before. So it's going to include no weight data on those pieces of fur. And I'm just going to take those pieces of fur that I separated. It's only, what, a couple pieces? Yep. I'm going to find the armor layer 3 that it was thrown into. Should be hidden now at this point. I'm going to hide those, bring those in. Yep, there we are. So if I move these around, I'm going to see those other ones hiding in there. Or not. So, alright. Well, that's how you can save out your skinning information for when you're working on this, while you're working on your characters. It's the best thing to do that as often as you can as you're skinning the character. Because at any time, if it crashes, and you might have to rebuild your character from the ground up, you can easily just export and re-import your skin data, so you don't have to keep on rebuilding it, reapplying it all from scratch. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and I'll stop the video, and we'll come back and we'll keep on keeping on with skinning our character.